Was Zira truly evil, or simply a victim? Could she have become a great mother instead of a vengeful leader? Let's go back and understand how it all began, and how one decision by Simba changed her fate forever. Zira's story in The Lion King 2 isn't just about a villain seeking revenge. It's a complex, tragic, and far more painful tale than it appears on the surface. When we first meet Zira, she's portrayed as a fierce, angry leader, consumed by a desire to avenge Scar's death. But what many overlook is that the movie never shows how her relationship with Scar began. Zira's true past, before she became one of Scar's followers, is completely unknown. There's no mention of Kovu's father, nor any clue about who she was or how she lived before joining the dark side. And that, in itself, reveals how dark and broken her life must have been from the start, full of gaps, pain, and unanswered questions. What we do know is that she was deeply loyal to Scar, so much so that after his death, she raised her son Kovu to take his place and seek revenge against Simba, the one she blames for Scar's fall. It's as if her entire existence froze in the moment Scar died, and she built her identity solely around vengeance. This raises a powerful question. Did Zira truly love Scar, or did she simply see him as a symbol of power in a world that rejected and isolated her? Either way, it's clear that Scar's death shattered her, and instead of nurturing her son, she shaped Kovu into a weapon. And here's where Simba comes in. After Scar's death, Simba himself wasn't fully ready to rule. He was still mentally and emotionally recovering from exile and the trauma of his return. Still, he chose to punish not just Scar, but everyone who supported him. He exiled Zira and her followers from the Pride Lands, refusing to reintegrate them into society. That decision was a major turning point. Instead of offering them a chance to change or belong, he pushed them into a life of exile and deepened their sense of anger and rejection. To Zira, Simba didn't just kill her leader. He cast her and her children out and forced them to live in isolation. Interestingly, there was one small moment of hope for peace that many might have missed. When Kiara, Simba's daughter, and Kovu, Zira's son, fell in love. It was a real opportunity for the two sides to reconcile and move on from the past. Kiara never saw Kovu as an enemy, and Kovu himself started to change. He began to question everything he'd been raised to believe. Yet sadly, even then, Zira remained consumed by hatred. Instead of embracing the chance for her son to live in peace and become part of the royal family, she tried to exploit the relationship to reach Simba and take revenge. Zira raised Kovu to be a tool of vengeance, not because she was evil by nature, but because the world rejected her, and Simba played a major role in that. He exiled her, never tried to understand her, and saw her only as a threat, not as a mother. Throughout the story, Zira saw Kovu as her last hope to restore her pride, her identity, even if that came at the cost of his happiness or future. But that's not the whole story. After the death of Queen Jana, the leader of the Night Pride at the Tree of Life, there was another turning point. This time, not with Zira, but with Kion, the leader of the Lion Guard. The difference? Kion learned to manage his anger and chose to lead with compassion and understanding. When Rani took over leadership, Kion supported her. He didn't exile her, didn't reject her, and didn't label her a threat to be removed. Comparing this to Simba's treatment of Zira reveals a powerful contrast. Could Zira have been a peaceful, loving mother? The answer is yes. If someone had reached out to her after Scar's death, if she had been offered a real chance at reconciliation, if she had seen that her son's future mattered more than her past, she might have turned into a very different person. Not just a mother, but a leader and a fighter for peace instead of revenge. She was brave, strong, driven, and loyal to those she loved. But sadly, she channeled those qualities in the wrong direction because of choices made by others. And one thing that can't be denied, Zira was a devoted mother. Even if not in the ideal way, she wanted the best for Kovu, even if she didn't truly know what the best meant. And when Kovu chose to follow his heart and reject her path, Zira couldn't handle it. She saw it as betrayal, not freedom. She was a victim of old ideas, of a life filled with rejection and revenge. In the end, the story turned tragic. Zira chose the hard path until her final moment. Despite Kiara's efforts to unite everyone, and Kovu himself standing against her in the end, Zira couldn't let go of her hatred. She fell, both literally and figuratively. Her ending wasn't just that of a villain, it was the downfall of someone who couldn't escape the cycle of vengeance, a cycle that Simba himself helped create. Zira isn't just a villain. She's a warning. Her story shows us that rejection breeds anger, and that treating someone with suspicion can turn the wounded into destroyers. That when we deny people a real chance at peace, we doom ourselves to a cycle of hatred that brings no happiness to anyone. And Simba, despite being the story's hero, played a direct role in creating a new enemy. Had he embraced Zira instead of banishing her, had he listened to Kovu instead of doubting him, had he believed that love could be stronger than war, the story could have ended very differently. But sadly, what's done is done. And in the end, Zira became the product of others' decisions long before she ever became the result of her own. And perhaps that's the greatest tragedy of all. If this story made you see Zira in a different light, give the video a like so we know you enjoy deep character breakdowns like this. And tell us in the comments, do you think Zira was truly a victim, or did she choose the path of a villain? We're reading all your thoughts and replying to as many as we can. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, because we've got more powerful Disney character analyses coming that might just change the way you see your childhood favorites.